Hello, I'm Ellen from the Spellbound Bead Company, and today we're going to make a simple elasticated bracelet using chevron beads and size 10 seed beads and 2 strands of elastic. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I've cut 30 centimetres, which is a foot in old money, of elastic, and that will make your bracelet approximately 7 inches long, which is about 18 centimetres. So what you're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a bulldog clip and clip it onto the end of your elastic, and that just makes sure that when you're threading your beads on, they're not going to start escaping off the other end of your elastic. I mean, if you haven't got a bulldog clip, you can always use a paper clip or just a large bead on the end. That would work fine too. So firstly, if you lie your chevrons out so that they're all facing in the right direction, so you're not tempted to put them on. So you're not tempted to put them on in the wrong way round. And at this point, if you check both the holes in your beads as well, so that you know that there isn't a blockage, so that when you come along to put the second row on, you're not going to have a problem. So firstly, if you just thread your elastic through the first hole of your chevron, and then we're going to pick up 5, 2, 3, 4, and it's the little one that's always awkward, 5 little seed beads, and thread those on. And you're going to pick up your next chevron, thread that one on, and again going to pick up 5 little seed beads. We're just using a mix of colours here, so it doesn't matter what order you put them in. If you like things to be a bit more exact, you could sit and sort them out, but I'm quite happy with a random order here. 5 of those. Thread those on, and then put your next chevron on. So if you're looking to make a bracelet it's approximately 7 inches long, you're going to need to put 15 chevron beads on. Okay. So simply just keep working your way along the top strand, putting your 5 beads in between each of your chevrons. Okay. So this one I've done already, so you can see that we've continued all the way along, and you've got your chevrons with 5 in between each one, and then I've popped another bulldog clip at the other end. Now, to make the second row, so you're going to need another 30 centimetres of elastic. Now, this is where the bulldog clips is where we're going to tie the knot on this row. However, if you don't want your bracelet to have a sort of sharp point in it, what you're going to need is to offset your knot away from it. So we're going to start threading on the second row just a little short way along from the end. So we're going to start here. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way. So in order to offset the knot, we're going to start here. So if you just pass your elastic through this bead here, and then we're going to take another bulldog clip, and again clip that onto the end to stop your elastic sliding through. So clip that on, and then we're going to thread on your 5 little seed beads like we did before. Okay, so pull those down and then thread it through the second hole on the next chevron along. Try not to tighten a knot. Okay, and then continue along. Keep threading on your little 5 little beads. Of course, we're just using a nice mix of chalk colours here, so you can nice and bright. so you can see them, but of course you could use any colours that you liked in this design. The chevron beads also come in different colours as well, so you could change this, you could change the colour. You could have a plain colour of your seed beads, and you could change the colour of your chevron if you preferred. And then just keep threading it on, making sure that the you've got no loops of your thread, and you're not tying it to crossing it over any point. So as you can see, I've now completed the beads up to the end of the row here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another bulldog clip on just to make sure that these beads don't escape. I'm going to pop that clip on there, and we're going to finish the end of this row after we've tied the knot on the first row. So what you're going to need to do, what we're going to do is we're going to take the two clips off the first row, okay, and then you're going to bring the two ends together like this, and then we're going to wanting to put a knot in between here. So you bring your two ends together, give it a little bit of a stretch, not too much, because we still want it to be able to stretch, some stretch left in the bracelet, but give it a little bit of a stretch, and we're going to tie an overhand knot. So we're just going to flip it round like that and gently pull it up into place. So you can see you've got a little knot there sitting in between. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use some nail varnish. So I'm just going to get my little pot of nail varnish, and you're just going to put a little dollop of nail varnish just all over that knot there, and it's going to act like just using it as a glue. So if you just put your little dollop of nail varnish on there, you can see I've got it over my finger as well. Okay, and that will hold the knot in place. If you don't put any, you can use PVA glue if you haven't got any nail varnish at home, but you don't want to put, if you don't put any glue on it, then the knot will just work itself loose. Equally, make sure you don't want to use super glue, because that will melt your elastic, and that is not what you want to do. So there you can see we've now got the one row completed, and we're going to offset the knots, because if we just left it like that, you'd end up with a little bend in your bracelet here. So if we're going to put the second knot round here, it'll give it a much nicer round shape. So what we're going to do is continue with this end here. Flip it over so we can see where they're going. So if you take this clip off, you can see this one, it's going to go through the next one rounds in the row around the bracelet. Let's go through that next chevron. Move it around so I'm a bit closer to my beads, and then you're going to thread on five little seed beads once more. Fill in the gap. How many have I got there? 4 and 5. So as you can see, it's really simple. As long as you can count up to 5, you should be fine with this. And then you pass it through the last chevron, and then if you can see, we just need the last final 5 beads to go on here, which I'm going to take this clip off and to put them on the first end, simply because it will give me more room to tie the knot with. It can be tempting when you're doing one of these elastic bracelets to give yourself only just enough elastic, but the more elastic you have left at the ends to actually tie the knots with, the easier it is to tie a knot. So it's tempting to leave yourself only a little bit of elastic, so you can make more bracelets, but you would be making it a lot more difficult for yourself. Ooh, can't get the last one. There we go. Okay, so that's our final 5 on there. So again, we're going to do the same as before. You bring the 2 ends up close up to each other. And to pop our knot in here. So if you just, again, we're just tying an overhand knot, so you just give it a little bit of a stretch. Tie it over, through, and then just pull your knot tight there. So you can see it's sitting here. Space it out a bit. There you go. So your knot is going to be sitting in here. Tighten it up a bit. You can see it's a little bit looser than the other one, but that's not going to matter because it is a 2-stranded bracelet. What you can do, if you feel it is a little bit loose, you can always tie a second knot. Second one's a little bit tighter, that's a bit better, isn't it? There you go. And then we're going to, again, take our nail varnish, put a little dollop of that. Again, try not to get it on the beads too much, just on the knot. Okay. So you can either give it a little blow to dry it off, or just leave it to dry. And then we'd always recommend that you leave the ends the nail varnish to dry and settle for a couple of hours, preferably overnight. But just to show you how to do it, and we're going to cut them off now. So what you do is you just need to take a pair of scissors, and because you've got the nail varnish on there, you can cut the ends off up nice and close up next to the knot, so it's not going to work itself loose. Okay, so that's the one. And then on this one, again, and you're going to chop that one off. Bits at the side, and there you have 1 chevron bracelet using size 10s and 2 strands of elastic.